Welcome to BaseballGuys.com. I'm your host on Around the Horn, Ray Flowers. I want to start off by talking to you about the Red Sox and particularly about Will Middlebrooks. Now, the Red Sox have done a lot of creative things trying to get Middlebrooks, Youkilis, and Gonzalez back in the lineup. And through it all, Middlebrooks has hit very well. And I got a question today at BaseballGuys.com. Someone asked me, well, what do I think about adding Middlebrooks for batting average help? And my response was, I wouldn't do it. Now, I know he's hitting .308. I know he's been very impressive to this point of his rookie season, but we're talking about less than 100 at-bats. That always, causes me a little bit of a concern when we're talking that small of a sample size. But here's the secondary issue. On the season, Middlebrooks has a 30.4% strikeout rate. What does that mean? Let's put it in context. Last season, no one that had a 30% strikeout rate hit 300. In fact, if we drop that number down to 25%, no one hit 300. Drop it even further, drop it down to 24%. There wasn't a single batter in baseball last season who had a 24% strikeout rate that hit 300. None hit 290, none hit 280, none hit 270. In fact, no player in baseball last season that had a strikeout rate over 24% hit any higher than 262. Curtis Granderson and Mike Stanton did that. So again, no one last year had a 24% mark and hit better than 262. Right now, Middlebrooks is hitting .308 with a 30% and above mark. I don't think Middlebrooks can keep those two things going. Obviously, he's going to have to cut the strikeouts down, or that batting average is going down. Eric Thames, well, he's going down, and it's going down to the minor leagues. Hasn't been able to have any success this year. His OPS is in the 600s. Not a lot of power, just 3 home runs. Hasn't really lived up to the expectations that people had placed upon his shoulders. So the Blue Jays have made the decision to send him down to the minor leagues. Now, you might think Travis Snider would get the call-up. Travis Snider and Eric Thames were battling all spring for that job. Both had good springs. The team made the decision to go with Thames. Hasn't worked out. Snider sent down to the minor leagues to try to rediscover a little bit of his lost stroke. He's hurt. He can't be called up right now. So it really looks like the Blue Jays are going to go with Rajai Davis in the outfield. So if he's on the waiver wire, even in a mixed league, you might give serious consideration to picking Davis up. He's not a very good hitter. He's got no power whatsoever. But every time he plays, he runs. He's got a legit 40-50 speed, steal speed, even if he doesn't have a high on-base percentage or a strong batting average. You need help in the stolen base department. Roger Davis has got to pick up right now. Another guy you can pick up to help you out in the stolen base category, but a guy who's helping you out in other areas as well is Gregor Blanco of the Giants. And you may not have noticed because he doesn't do anything outstanding, not huge stolen base totals, very little power, but he has solidified himself as a starting right fielder for the Giants in that leadoff spot. He's played very well of late in his last 10 games, 7 runs scored and 13 hits. But it's more than just a week and a half we're talking about. For the entire month of May, he has been very, very good. Batting .318 in the month of May, 19 runs scored in 24 games for the Giants. Gregor Blanco establishing himself in the outfield. Nate Schierholtz receding because of that. Gregor Blanco, someone to pay attention to, not just in NL-only leagues, but in mixed leagues. He's going very well right now. Talk about a guy that's going well. Let's discuss Dexter Fowler of the Rockies. Huge game last night. Well, huge 2 games. One of them he went 4 for 4. Overall, he went 7 for 9. Home runs, RBIs, 5 RBIs, 3 runs scored. He has looked great, or at least he looked great yesterday. The assumption being that he has had a down season, and until yesterday it wasn't great. But after yesterday's action, his batting average is in the 270s. His on-base percentage is in the 370s. In fact, those 2 numbers are actually better than they were last season, which brings up a following point. If we go back to July 1st of 2011, a span of 101 games. So again, not a small sample size. 101 games since the start of July of last year. Dexter Fowler is hitting in the 270s. His on-base percentage is pushing .400, and his OPS in that time is .894. He's got 12 home runs, 14 steals. Yeah, I had that right. And 75 runs scored. So think about that. In a 101-game stretch, Fowler, 12 home runs, 14 steals, 75 runs scored, and an OPS of nearly 900. I pushed him really hard in the preseason. He's slowly coming around this season. But again, he has been a very productive and solid under-the-radar depth play in the outfield for months and months and months now. Jonathan Lucroy has been terrific for 2 months, but unfortunately that run is at an end. Suffered a broken hand in a freak accident in his hotel room while moving a suitcase with his wife. Suffered the broken bone in his right hand. He's out anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. This is a crushing blow, obviously, to the Brewers and people that were counting on Lucroy. Was having a phenomenal season, hitting .345 with 5 home runs and 30 RBIs, an OPS of nearly .970 for Lucroy. Maldonado has been called up, not a very good hitter. The Brewers figure to go most of the time with George Gutierrez, a pretty solid hitter in his own right. He'll get a chance to establish himself. You're just going to have to wait for Lucroy to get back. Tough blow. Bryan LaHair, talk about a tough blow. Great in April, so spotty in May. He's actually hitting barely .250 in May. He's dropped down to under 140 against left-handed pitching this season. Lots of concerns with LaHair. But think about it this way. If you were on a desert island and you just woke up, or you were in a coma and you just woke up, and you saw that Bryan LaHair was hitting .312 with 10 home runs at this point of the season, you'd be doing cartwheels. So let's not, bash LaHair completely. I know he's been bad in May. I know that, like I said, he's had a real rough streak of late, including 11 games without a home run. But his OPS is still nearly 1,000. The real question is, what do you do with LaHair? I'm on record as saying I don't think he can hit 300. I doubt he can hit much higher than 280, to be quite honest with you. And I don't know if he's got anything more than 25 home run power, which leaves him as a rather unappealing option from this point forward. But he has been great overall. Yes, it's been unsteady. Yes, the trend is going in the wrong way. And yes, if you continue to hold on to LaHair, you're not going to be able to get much for him in a trade. But he could still be a productive hitter if used properly. And that is probably as a corner infield option in a 12 or a 15-team mixed league. And then finally, Jered Weaver. We don't know what's going on with Jered Weaver, and this is really scary news in obviously the fantasy game. He had a back issue that limited him to just 12 pitches last night. The Angels are going to run X-rays and MRIs today to try to get a determination on what's going on. Weaver himself after the game said he didn't quite know where he was at or what was going to happen. Fingers are crossed. This is going to be a minor issue. We'll have test results hopefully later today, and we'll get a little bit better read on Jered Weaver, who has been one of the top 10 pitchers in baseball the past couple of seasons. I'm Ray Flowers, BaseballGuys.com. Thanks for joining me on Around the Horn. I'll talk to you all again soon.